Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Edgerly, Executive Director for the Alzheimer's Association here in Northern California and Northern Nevada. Welcome to our Facebook Live. I am joined today by a fabulous volunteer, Jane Gruner, who is the chair of the Walk to End Alzheimer's in Reno and Sparks, where I will be on Saturday. Jane, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on today. I am so excited about our walk.
Oh, me too.
Down.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's getting close. Jane, how did you get involved with the work of the Alzheimer's Association?
Well, in 1990, my father-in-law was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And like many families, when you get that diagnosis, it changes everything. And you have to really reorg how you think of how are you going to support your loved one. And my father-in-law lived quite a distance from us. So it meant my husband and I had to go out and seek out what services would be available in his area. And one of our top service was the Alzheimer's Association.
Oh, I'm so glad.
And we were able to get so much information, and my mother-in-law was able to use the support groups, use respite, and it was a lifesaver for us.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm sorry that you went through that experience, and being a long distance caregiver in particular is a challenge. I too was a long distance caregiver for my mother, and finding resources from afar. And like you, I use the Alzheimer's Association too, because it's hard. It's hard, to know what you're dealing with and how to get the help you need.
It was. Now, at a certain point, he did come and live with us.
Oh, okay.
It had gotten, it's very hard for a person to be the only caregiver. And my mother-in-law was alone in that area with my father-in-law, and he came up and lived with us for a while.
Oh, wonderful. It is so hard. And I know many of you who are joining us, and welcome to our Facebook Live. I'm Elizabeth Edgerly, Executive Director for the Alzheimer's Association, and I am here with Jane Gruner, our fabulous chair for the upcoming Reno Sparks Walk on Saturday. Many of us have seen caregivers who are so affected by their caregiving responsibilities that they start becoming ill and struggling, and sometimes even can predecease the individual living with the disease. So I'm really grateful to hear that you had access to help and that you and your family were able to manage this together. We have a lot to cover today for our Facebook Live. I want to start by sharing some good news. And I don't know how many of you have heard this. I bet some of you have, because you tend to follow Alzheimer's news. But there was a new story released. It's top line results of a new drug called lecanemab. And lecanemab just finished its phase 3 clinical trials. And Eisai and Biogen presented the high-level results, and we're very excited to learn more and to see where this is going. But at the highest level, this trial met all of their primary and secondary endpoints and showed that they slowed the rate of progression by 27%. So what does that mean? Well, first off, this drug focuses on clearing amyloid. And with the drugs that focus on amyloid, they work in different ways. They actually tackle even different parts of amyloid. And so in the earlier trials that I got to hear them reporting out, it was incredibly effective at removing amyloid. I'm really curious to hear when we hear more about what that drug was found to do, if it was as effective as the phase 2 trial. But they found it cleared the amyloid. But the real issue is, does that make any difference? Does that slow the progression? Does it help with cognition? And these results suggest yes. So think about 27% improvement in 18 months, which is actually a pretty quick amount of time, right? Jane, I don't know if you, when I think about what was 18 months in my mother's dementia, things changed incrementally, but it was gradual. Did you have that experience?
That was the same. That's what we experienced also. But I have to just say, it's so hopeful.
I'm
That
very
is
hopeful.
very exciting news.
I agree. It gives me hope for everybody living with early stage Alzheimer's today, people with mild cognitive impairment. This is really good news. They're even looking at those people with what's called preclinical Alzheimer's. And that's where if I have preclinical Alzheimer's, I have amyloid in my brain and other indicators that I have Alzheimer's, but I don't have symptoms. And so they're even looking at this drug already in a group of people who have a genetic predisposition to develop Alzheimer's, and they're intervening right away to try to prevent them from even getting the symptoms.
That is really exciting news.
Wouldn't
I'm
that be
really
incredible?
looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing those results.
Me too. Me too. I think about this like the colonoscopy. Everybody loves going to get the colonoscopy, right? But the idea is there, if you find it early, you can intervene and you can save lives. And
Right.
we might get to the point where if we can see that there are changes early, maybe we can intervene, like in this case with this drug or others that are coming down the pathway to prevent it. Super exciting. Let me see if there's other stuff I want to share. Oh, one of the things that we're seeing with this drug and the potential for it, if it comes to pass, is that we're hoping it will buy people time when they're at their best, when they're at their cognitive best. So that's why we keep talking about early Alzheimer's and mild cognitive impairment as opposed to middle and later stage Alzheimer's. We don't know yet if this drug will be effective for middle and later stages. Hopefully it will, but they generally, the view is you want to address this before damage takes place. Very hard to undo damage that has already taken place. So
Well,
we'll
and
see.
once they can find a drug that is successful at that, the future drugs will build on that. So it is
Absolutely.
extremely hopeful
Yeah.
that
And
they
that's
find something that works this well.
I love that you said that, because that's actually what we see with other conditions is, the first to come to market are rarely the best to come to market. Now, no offense to lecanemab. Of course, we hope it's fantastic, but there are others already in this pipeline. The other thing is this is just one avenue. The amyloid focus is just one avenue. There's a whole host of other drugs, other approaches that are also under investigation. And it's just that they're not, they haven't been studying them as long. So this is the first wave, and we're expecting more waves to come to shore soon. So pretty cool. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention, Jane, that's really exciting is that so often in clinical trials, the diversity of the subjects in the study is lacking. And so that's a real concern, because we want to make sure that when there are treatments available, they work for everybody. And this trial had 25% of participants were Hispanic or Black African American individuals. So that is really good in terms of the number.
It's significant.
It's significant, and it almost never happens that way. So we're trying to change that and making sure that all studies are representative. But this is so refreshing to see that there was representation. Now we'd love to see even more representation, but what a great start with that.
Wonderful. And we
Yeah.
probably should ask those researchers how they were able to
How
get
they did it.
diversity into their study.
Yeah, that's a great question. We shall see. So what do we do now? Well, we're waiting. They're going to do this deeper dive. The FDA and the scientists at the FDA are going to look at it. Over time, we're going to get some more glimpses into the study results. And we expect to hear more by January, and then possibly even approval in February and March. So cross our fingers.
That's
Hopefully that'll work. So there's so much going on. We have Walk to End Alzheimer's. I hope all of you are going to be at a walk. It is an exciting time for us. I'm really excited about the Reno Sparks Walk. And then, of course, my walk, the Silicon Valley Walk, is coming up right after that. I'm pulling out my phone because I want to make sure everybody knows we have a really helpful app, the Walk to End Alzheimer's app. So you can register to walk through the app. You can also do donations through the app. You can email people. You can post on Facebook. You can even deposit checks if people write a check to the Alzheimer's Association. It's really, really helpful. So we hope that you will sign up for the walk and use that. But we're here to help you if you have any issues. If you have any struggles registering or you can't remember that password, we will help you. Do not worry.
Elizabeth, it also lets you as a team lead know who's donated and who's registered for you. So if you're a team lead, then you can follow that all in real time. It's fantastic.
I love getting notifications that someone has donated to my team or joined my team. It's really helpful. And then you can thank them through the app too, because we want you to know how much we appreciate all that you're doing, everybody who's participating in the walk. It's the one time of the year where everything comes together. We get the most number of people from the community. We raise awareness. Of course, people are concerned about Alzheimer's. We give them resources. We engage them in public policy and advocacy, and of course, raise money to help us fund all the work that we're doing to try to change the future. So we hope you will join us. So I would love to hear more about the Reno Sparks Walk. So how is that going so far? And who's the top team so far in Reno?
Hey, so our top team this year is called Chippy, Nevada. And it's a big shout out to Frank Shipman. He has raised an incredible over $16,000.
Wow. Frank, you're a rock star.
He is a rock star. He also has volunteered and helped on our walk team. Nice. Our walk committee.
On the committee.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Frank, and to the Chippy, Nevada team. Wonderful. So you guys are going to be.
He shared all of his ways that he was able to get donations too.
Oh, good.
It was really valuable for our team, for our committees.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And all of you in Northern Nevada, we would love to see you at the Sparks Marina. It's a fantastic walk. I will be there. I will be with Jane for this event. And it's really just such a wonderful feeling. I think you guys have some of the biggest teams in the country come out. Your Sigma Kappa.
Right.
Your Sigma Kappa team is a big one. So I hope they turn out in full force. This year
also, just a big shout out to all our walkers and all the people that donate. It is going to be a fun day. Can't wait to see everyone.
Nice. And thank you again for being chair. The committee really makes this happen. And Jane, for you to step up and help in this way, it means the world to us. It's a huge, huge gift that you're giving to us. So thank you.
Thank you. And I want to thank my big committee because they have been so awesome.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait to see. Awesome. So the next walk we want to talk about is the Merced Walk. And the Merced Walk also has a super top team, Walking for Ron. And team captain is Mark Marchini. Mark, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, but thank you for all that you are doing. Mark has raised individually over $11,000 and his team has raised over $12,000. And I love these photos. I love the example of how this is a community event and look at all the kids. This really affects generations. And one of the things that I love about walks like the Merced Walk, like the Sparks Walk, is it is uplifting and fun. So I hope that you can gather your friends, your family, come together for a good cause. Really wonderful way to support the cause. So Merced is also happening on Saturday. Actually, all of the walks that we're going to talk about today are happening on Saturday. So Jane, tell us about the Chico Walk.
So our Chico Walk, the top team is Lisa's Angels. And,
nice.
And that is led by Kari Smith. And our top individual is Michael Murphy.
Wonderful.
They are all they're going to gather and have a great time. It's such a wonderful time for families to come together and enjoy each other
Oh,
and
I love it.
have a little lightheartedness and some laughs together.
Chico has a beautiful location for their walk to Bidwell Park. And it unfortunately always overlaps with other walks, so I don't get to go every year, but wonderful, wonderful support from the Chico community, and we're so grateful. Thank you to Kari and Team Murphy as well, Michael and Kari, for all your leadership, and good luck on Saturday. So next is Humboldt, way up north in Northern California, and Humboldt really has so much to celebrate in terms of what they've accomplished as a walk. Their Visiting Angels team from Eureka was the top team, I believe, the top in the whole country, and earned a huge bonus from Visiting Angels for being in that coveted spot. They're really competitive there. And so Jean O'Neill so far has raised over 12,000. And the top individual is also on the Visiting Angels team, and that's Lynn McKenna at $7,700. Truly incredible support from the community, and kudos to Visiting Angels. We are so grateful for you and all that you do to champion the cause in the far northern part of the state. Good luck, everybody, on Saturday. We can't wait to hear how it goes. Next up, Jane, tell us about Monterey. Who's shaping up to be top team in Monterey?
In beautiful Monterey, we have our top team is Edward Jones, Monterey,
Nice.
and our top individual is Kathy Kyles.
Awesome. Monterey has a beautiful walk site. Of course, Monterey is beautiful, but it's a lovely place to walk, and what an amazing community to gather together in and support the cause. So I know that some of you have been talking about registering, but you haven't registered yet. Now is the time. It's coming up.
It's really easy.
It's really easy. And even if you haven't registered, if you want to come, you can register on walk day, but it's even better if you register and invite friends to come with you. So hope to see a whole bunch of you in Monterey. The next and last walk we're going to feature is Sonoma Marin. And we have been building up to this moment. We have an amazing team and a team captain to thank and celebrate. And it is Patty's Push for a Cure with team captain Patty Wick. Patty and her team have raised over $64,000 for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Patty is a longtime team captain and champion, and her friends and family and the community have supported her to help fund research, to fund care and support, to fund all the DE&I work that we do. Everything that the Alzheimer's Association does is because of the Walk to End Alzheimer's and people like you and people like the amazing Patty Wick. So Patty, thank you for everything that you do this year for Walk and all those years past. You're a rock star.
Wow.
You are amazing.
Wow.
Isn't it incredible?
It is
I feel so lucky that we get to work with all of you in this, and whether you're raising $60 or $60,000, it all makes a difference. So thank you to all of our committee members, our committee chairs in particular, our volunteers, everybody. We still need volunteers. So if you can help, we could do that. Oh, I wanted to also share an idea with you all. I told Jane about this. So one thing my team has started to do is when people support our team, we ask if there's someone they'd like to honor or remember, and we do ribbons and we attach them to our walk buttons and we carry them with us. So if you want to make this especially meaningful, certainly do that for your loved ones who you've lost and why you walk. And it may be for future generations that you walk, but it's a nice way to make it so they are walking with you, you are walking on their behalf, and people really appreciate it, knowing that you're doing it in memory of someone they love. And one other thing I wanted to mention that's really special about Walk Day is if you notice the flowers behind, if you haven't been to the walk, one of the most special parts of the Walk Day is the promise flower ceremony. Jane, what do you think about it? I just find it so incredibly moving every year.
It is always moving, and the impact is so important on the people that are participating.
Yeah, it's incredible. So as you can see, we've got different colors of flowers. The orange flower is for people who are supportive of the work that we're doing. They care deeply about it. The yellow is for caregivers and care partners. The blue is for people living with Alzheimer's or related dementia or with mild cognitive impairment. And then purple is what I carry, which is if you've lost somebody to dementia. And then this flower, which is very precious, very rare, and I have to take extra care because it's for your Reno walk,
Yes.
is for the day where there is the first survivor, where someone can actually live a full life for as long as possible with Alzheimer's. And it's amazing to even hold it. I almost never have held this flower, but I'm feeling like we just might get there.
I think we might.
We are going to.
Yeah, one of the things I love about the flower garden is that it includes everyone.
It does.
Everyone gets to participate in it.
It's so wonderful. I love it. I hope you will come and join us. And also, if anybody has any questions about anything, please reach out if you want more information about any of the events we've talked about or how to get involved. Or if you have questions about lecanemab, we're going to be gathering more information. We don't have it yet because we just learned about this last week. But the more we know, the more we will share, and we will wait and see. And if it gets passed, we're going to work tirelessly to make sure that people get access to it. The last thing I want to mention, we have an upcoming meet and greet tomorrow with Dr. Carl Hill, our Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, who's right down the hall from me today, which is very exciting. Dr. Hill works with our home office in Chicago, really amazing leader in the field of Alzheimer's and dementia, and in particular around diversity, equity, inclusion. And you can join us for a free event at the Oakland Public Library to learn from Dr. Hill about what it is going to take to address the equity barriers and really strive for true diversity and inclusion when it comes to Alzheimer's and dementia. So I hope you can join us for that. Also check out our website. We've got lots of workshops taking place, support groups, and always our 24/7 helpline. So thank you all for joining. Thank you, Jane. I can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure.
Sparks people, make sure you get registered.
Register for that walk. And thank you all. I'll see you next week. We have more walks happening, so much to share. Hope you can all join us. Thanks so much for helping to create a world without Alzheimer's. Bye, everybody.
Bye.